Do 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 do. Yo yo yo. How's our audio? Let's rock. Let's rock and roll. Welcome back to another one on the channel, guys. Today we are going to be doing a similar video to our last one. Person that is divorced, I'm assuming. This is called Why the Perfect Life is Actually a Huge Lie. It is from the channel Solo Second Half. So it's kind of like the last guy, John 2.0. But this is from the other side, a female perspective. Solo Second Half is the channel. If you're a frequent viewer here, guys, I do have a poll on my main page about live streaming. If that interests you at all, check out that poll. I'm just gauging interest in my regular time viewers. If you're here just for this video, that's cool too. Don't worry about the poll, and let's jump right into it.
Have you been told if you just get married, have kids, and do everything just right, you're assured of some sort of Disney lifestyle with a Hallmark ending assured? Well, let me tell you.
Actually, I think what we're being told is don't get married, go to college, get all this money. You know, if you find yourself pregnant, get an abortion, don't ruin your life. And I think men are hearing this story, right? That women suck, they're vampires, they're going to take everything from you, they're promiscuous, they sell themselves online, right? All these words that go along with that. And I also think that women are hearing men suck, they're misogynists, they want to oppress you, they want to own you, they're losers, they're toxic. I think that's what we're hearing. That's what we're being told now. So maybe the pendulum has swung too far from what she just explained.
Tell you, that's some full-on BS. And I have been told that in my comments section. Thanks for watching and all the comments. But seriously, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Society puts some seriously crazy pressures and delusional beliefs onto people.
So many of these videos, guys, it comes back to society, right? Society's expectations. The presumption is that we don't make choices, that these things just magically happen to us. We end up here. Everything is externalities. We don't make any choices for ourselves and society. It's interesting to think about. And to some extent, it's probably true, right? Like I said, society does say certain things. I guess what we're going to believe is a difference. That's the discussion.
The truth is, you can do everything just right by the book. Not many of us humans do, but close, right? You can have the
No, not close. I disagree. We like to think we do. Again, we like to think we're perfect. It's always the other person, right? Similar to John's video, right?
kids, have the family, be the loving spouse, try to do it all. Yeah, you can. And guess what? Life may have other plans. And by people out there not accepting the full spectrum of life and events that happen to people, it completely invalidates the human experience and makes people feel bad. This toxic positivity going on in this world, it's making our society and individual humans sick. And it's a bunch of crap. It's about as useful as those corporate posters when you walk into the office that say, teamwork makes the dream work and all that nonsense. Does that really give you high-functioning, productive team?
Or we're a family, right? The job postings. I'm in the trucking world. Every single recruitment ad, we're a family. It's family focused. You know, we're a family here.
I don't think so. Not the offices I've been in. It's a bunch of crap and maybe has the opposite effect. And that's pretty much the truth with what's going on in our world with this toxic positivity, this judgment. I've realized through looking in the comments, so many people out there, they can't handle the truth, the reality of life. And that is making the rest of us out here that are experiencing things for real, job loss, family not being around, kids having problems. This
She called it toxic positivity and judgment, and that she and others are the only ones that are out here experiencing these real things. Every human being on the planet Earth is going through real life. We all have different perspectives, and we do all have different judgments, including this wonderful lady here.
Kind of invalidating and negating all of those experiences, and it's putting it back on the individual, saying you did something wrong. That's why you're alone. That's why your kids aren't around and not talking to you. That's why you don't have a job anymore. It's your fault. And you know what? That's a bunch of crap. What
Are you guys getting that interpretation as well? And are you getting that interpretation from me? If personal responsibility or, our choices have consequences, is this the judgment that she's speaking of? Do I do this? I want you to let me know in the comments, because I do think that personal accountability, taking responsibility for our own actions, that we do make choices in life and they have outcomes. I think that's true. I understand, again, John said the same exact thing, right? He did everything right, right? His wife wasn't doing anything, right? He did all the work. He put all the work in. She wasn't holding up her side of the bargain. I'm kind of getting those vibes here as well, right? And that's what she said. She did you could do everything perfect, and then if you lose your job, and these things happen, you lose your job, family falls apart. You're not communicating with family. You guys already know my family tree, guys, is 99% divorce. When I was a kid, we used to go to family reunions. My aunt was still married. My uncle was still married. My parents were still married. So all me and my siblings and my cousins, we had family reunions. It was awesome. Those don't happen anymore. Communication, even between those of us that do still have pretty good relationships, the communication isn't always the greatest. It doesn't happen very often. And it sucks. It really sucks. I've had fallouts with family members, over little things, and even myself, I can be very stubborn and prideful. I haven't talked to my dad for 5 years, and that's half on me. And, we're two people. It takes two people to have a relationship and communication. And, my flesh is just like anybody else's. It's sinful and prideful and stubborn, but by no means, I'm not perfect and it's everybody else's fault and I did nothing wrong. No, we're not going to go there. That's not true either.
are us humans doing to each other? We need each other. I've got people in
Agreed.
the comments telling me, oh, hey, you look good. Don't worry. It's still time to find a man. What video are you people watching? I didn't end up alone. I walked here and I'm happy. And so are millions of other people. The judgment,
So there she said that she did it. She's here because she walked there. She's alone. She chose it. It sounds like that's what that statement sounded like, and she's happy. So yeah, some of the comments that she's getting or the judgments as she's about to say, people saying that she can still get married. I don't want to put that message out that everybody needs to get married, but I do think kind of the general path, the foundation of any society is going to be families. I think I mentioned this in my last video. If you have people that are only single, not having children, you're going to cease to have a society in 2 generations or one generation. I'm not saying everybody needs to get married, but I think, again, this individualism as a God, as our main focus, and me, I, that's not going to be good for society either. Or saying that marriage is horrible, and these people almost make it sound like it's evil, and that's the furthest from the truth. As God instituted marriage, He created it, and everything He created was good.
insanity going on out there, society applying one group's rules to everybody, it's hurting us. What the heck happened to accepting everything?
I'll agree with that.
When I was in college, right?
But she just said accepting everything. Does that include, families, marriage, lifelong marriage, raising kids, right? Tolerance, acceptance. It's tolerant and accepting until it's not, right? So it's it's preached one end, accept everything. That's what she said. Her words, not mine.
back in the 80s, but to accepting everything. When I was in college, right, back in the 80s, before the internet and
When I was born,
I don't know what, the psyops games that go on with it,
psyops games.
we used to accept each other. We relished in hanging out and talking about differences. We'd have our little arguments and discussions and really flush out the differences. Then we'd open up our minds and think about what the options were.
We'd hit some acid. No, I'm just kidding. One of my favorite movies, guys, is The Breakfast Club, and like you think about some of them older movies, like she's talking about Footloose. There's always been cliques. There's always been cliques and groups and whatnot, but I think communication, maybe communication is better. Social media probably has a big effect on how we communicate nowadays, and hypertension and all these things. Maybe that's how these things are getting, blasted out of proportion, right? With toxic masculinity and succulent vampire females, right? Maybe social media is doing it. The psyop games that she's talking about. We may be on the same page here.
Full range. I don't know. And then we'd laugh. We'd just laugh and carry on.
In high school.
It's all turned into insanity.
Yep.
Humanity out there, it needs a big friggin' hug and embrace and some acceptance and tolerance.
I'll give her a hug, but there's that acceptance and tolerance, right?
We need to acknowledge that life is not fair, is not going to treat everybody great. You
Agreed.
can do everything right and have everything blow up right in your face, and it's not your fault.
I'll agree. I mean, but we don't do everything right. We got to take accountability here with that. That's not true. We want to think we do. I'm prideful in my own flesh, but it's just not true. Do you guys think it's true? Let me know in the comments.
It's not. It's life. It's part of the human experience. We've got the kids running around thinking that every little emotion they have needs a medication, and they're not right. They're filled with depression, anxiety, trauma, all of it. Yes, there's real mental illnesses out there, and by gosh, they need help if they have them.
Dude, she's 100% on this one. The feelings and trauma, everything. Feelings haven't evolved, right? So everybody's gone through stuff. I'm not nullifying anything, but I think our diet has a lot to do with it. Some of the things that we accept and well, I guess, so this is society pushing certain ideas. I guess, so I'm using the same excuse. But I don't, these synthetic pills and stuff, I think I'm 100% with her. I don't think that's the answer.
But everybody who's feeling something, going through something, doesn't have a diagnosis, doesn't need medication, and isn't sick. Maybe they need some love and understanding and freaking tolerance from us.
Yeah, I think a good example is like young boys with, every one of them is diagnosed with ADHD or ADD nowadays, right? I think I had multiple buddies growing up in the 90s, early 2000s in school who were prescribed Adderall, and because they want us to sit in a class for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Young boys, right? My buddy, hey, we just want to go dirt biking in the river bottoms and learn about nature and stuff, and build stuff and break stuff, and so we're vibing, me and this lady right now, man.
Us humans. Maybe the adults around here need to start acknowledging that life is not fair. Stuff happens, even to really good people that do everything right.
We were, even for everyone, even for those of us that do everything right. Is that what she said?
We got to normalize. Stuff happens, even to really good people that do everything right.
Really good people that do everything right.
We got to normalize being human again.
What is being human? Do we have faults? Do we sin? If you're not a religious person, do we do wrong? Do we make mistakes? Do we hurt other people? Do we lie? Do we steal and cheat? And I don't think that's us being perfect or good. Doing everything right. That was the words.
Some fairy tale belief that if you get married and have kids, everything's going to be great. That is really damaging. You know how many people were married and didn't do anything wrong, and they caught their spouse cheating, screwing up things? Man or woman. This fairy tale expectation that society's putting on out there, it's having the opposite effect. It's just making people sick.
I'll agree somewhat. We're raised these Disney movie kind of, she said fairy tale. And yeah, everything's not forever after, everything's perfect and peachy. Nothing these movies are only an hour long. And you think about marriage, my wife and I are going on 17 years, and that's a little thing compared to, my neighbor just lost her husband. They were married for 58 years. My wife and I ain't even been alive that long. 58 years, almost 60 years, almost 6 decades. And you're telling me everything was perfect, fairy tale? I don't think so. And I won't get into details, but I've mentioned on this channel already, my marriage is only intact because of God's grace. That's it. I've said it once, I'll say it before. God gets all the glory for my marriage still being intact almost 17 years. And moving forward, he is the one he's the glue. I'm not preaching at you. That's mine and my wife's testimony. That is our marriage. If what she's saying, I mean, again, this fairy tale, I guess if, we were preached that or what have you. And I totally get it. I grew up watching Disney movies, right?
People that did nothing wrong. The spouse cheated. They lost their job. Financial troubles came and the marriage turned to hell. They had kids. The kid ended up maybe with an addiction problem, an eating disorder. Who knows?
Yeah, or the spouse was diagnosed with something, right? That's, you hear those stories, and that's horrible. My view, kind of, and I think I've shared this, is take the last example she used with a child getting a sickness or something, or the financial thing, right? Building this thing together with two people, common goals, vows made, right? You did love each other at one point. If you think that you can just fall out of love, love is an action. Right? God displayed his love for us, Jesus Christ on the cross. And when we make our vows, right? Yeah, we're attracted to somebody emotionally, physically, and we love them. But what is words? Our actions show what our love, right? So, and again, financial or a child with a sickness. Do you want to break this up while that person is, you're here? And say the microphone is the kid or the finances, right? You're building here on top. You're like that layer of protection. You split that apart, break that open. Here's that kid down here now. I think it looks better like this. And as a kid gone through divorce, 100%. And my 2 siblings, I've talked to both of them. Same thing, 100%.
This is life. It's real. And almost nobody's getting out of here unscathed. When are we going to start having a little bit more compassion,
That's true,
acceptance, and acknowledging what's reality? Yeah, I know it sucks sometimes. But guess what? Running away from it or putting your head in the sand, it's not going to change anything.
Running away from your marriage? I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but, she said she walked there. And now, running away from, I don't think people that are married, even if we have unhappy moments, I don't think we're running away or running away is, if we don't leave our spouse because we're unhappy, then we're running away from something or our true self, or I don't know. This doesn't seem to jive. It's not adding up to me.
People need to stop assuming that anyone who doesn't follow this societal normal path, there's something wrong with them.
So let me make it clear again. Yes, I agree. Not everybody, 100%, all people should get married. God created marriage. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing from him. I don't think it's a societal condition or construction, the way that she's forming it. Again, don't get that impression that I think you need to get married. Everyone needs to get married. That's not what I'm promoting here at all.
Hate to tell you, there's millions of us out here, and we are perfectly fine, okay, and even happy. The real answer out there is not, well, just have kids, build your family, they'll take care of you. No, it's learn how to stand on your own 2 feet, and then you're guaranteed you're going to be okay. Learn to stand on your own 2 feet, but build community. Have friends, volunteer, do things that you like to do, contribute to society. And no, you don't need to be married and have kids to do that, for gosh sakes. We need to stop assuming.
Again, I'll agree. And if that's the direction you want to go, then I think young people need to make these assessments early. You know, I got a high school buddy. Unfortunately, I think they just got divorced. I'm not direct communication right now. We haven't spoken for I don't know how many years, and they got 3 young daughters under the age of 10, you know, and it's just devastating, you know, and both of them are seeing new people fairly quickly after the separation or divorce. And, you know, everybody's on, you know, I'm seeing this on Facebook, okay? And everybody's giving, you know, they post these pictures with the other person. And everybody's saying, "Oh, you deserve this." Heart emojis, all this. What do the 3 kids deserve? These are the important questions and discussions or thoughts that we need to ponder in our society. Is if you want to live that selfish life, promiscuous party and whatever, fine. We have all the statistics to show, you know, divorced families, broken families, children out of wedlock. These are not good statistics. And so what she's saying is correct. On one hand, you can have community, friendship, you know, serve your community, all that as a single person, 100%. You don't have to have a family to have these communities, relationships. But on the other hand, you can have them with a family as well. A family is the microcosm of a community, right? Again, it's like the foundation building blocks. Somebody's got to have some kids.
That anyone that didn't follow these traditional paths is broken, some sort of misfit, made mistakes, or a failure. Full-on bull crap. So let's start accepting the differences, respecting people.
So I want to respect this lady. If she's got kids and she was divorced, and I feel for her kids and for her. I think that forgiveness and reconciliation is the best path in any circumstance. If both are willing to work together under God. I'll probably do a future video on getting into details and the nitty-gritty and different scenarios. I know there can be a lot of ugly ones, don't get me wrong, but I do think, as somebody who came from a broken marriage that I think could have easily been mended, healed, and beautiful, and then also being in a marriage that God has saved, that God has reconciled. So I know the proof. I know the truth of what joy that can be. And having a little bit of... But I don't want to... What I wanted to say was, I don't want to disrespect this lady, no ill will. I do want to respect, again, I'm not saying you need to get married, so please don't take it that way. Kindness and compassion for the path that people are on, whatever it is. Stop blaming them for life. It's ridiculous. Maybe it makes you feel a little bit better that you're creating some sort of delusional sense of control out there. Sorry, it's a bunch of crap. I don't know what to tell you. Yes, this is me again, being real. Hit the comment section to give me your advice. Well, it's not about control. It's simply taking responsibility for our actions. I know life happens. Yes, life happens to all of us. We all walk through life willingly or unwillingly, and things happen 100%. But we also make choices and do things, and none of us do everything the right way all the time. Tell me how a man might straighten it out. Okay. In all seriousness, let's get rid of this toxic positivity culture that we found ourselves in. Toxic positivity. I believe it's making us all sick. It's creating a lot of division, and it's full-on bullcrap. If those motivational posters in the office about teamwork makes the dream work really worked, every company would be running like Apple. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's not. Following somebody else's ideal script for a life, if that worked, yeah, okay. No, we're all individuals out here doing the best we can. Even if you're married, guess what? Newsflash, you're still an individual human being.
let's get it together and be more
Yeah,
accepting.
100%. Yeah, she's totally right. It takes two to make vows and follow vows. Yeah, 100%. So she is right.
More empathetic, more aware. Every human out there has something to contribute. I don't care where you are in the world, what you believe, what your culture is. You're valuable. You have something to contribute, and we need you.
Yep.
This planet needs every bit of love, support, understanding, tolerance it can get. Us humans are in a little bit of trouble, and the good news is we can make it better. So let's do it. Let's embrace life for all that it is. Let's embrace the people living it with all that comes along with it. Let's find our way back to make humans human again. Let's
find our way back to make humans human again. Yeah, I'll leave the video down in the description, guys, so you can check out the original. These videos, guys, if you like them, if you dislike them, my main goal kind of is just, again, to kind of look at different perspectives, check out what the zeitgeist is. These are wildly popular videos. Many of the comment sections are in full agreement. And so we're just trying to look at different perspectives, look at the world through a biblical lens, and that's about it. I don't ever want to take anybody out of context, so I try to play, I've been playing pretty much the full video. If I start to cut things or edit things, if I edit, it's only going to be like silence, or if I say ums or something. Like if I'm talking, the video is paused, and there's not going to be any clip baiting or cutting, chopping, making people say this when I left out a whole sentence or two or whatever. Everybody's going to say their part. We'll review it, and so that's kind of the way that I want to do things. Also, I'll leave that poll in the description about the live streaming. If that's something, if you're a regular viewer, if you made it this far in the video, appreciate it. Just let me know your thoughts on that poll and about live streaming or not, and we'll catch you in the next one. As always, God bless.